Hey guys, we're at High Falls State Park in Jackson, Georgia. It's about 35 minutes north of Macon. It's home to the largest cascading waterfall south of Atlanta at 135 feet. We're about 10 minutes from Indian Springs State Park, which is the oldest state park in Georgia. There's just a ton of history in this area and in High Falls State Park specifically. So we're gonna go check it out and we'll let you know some historic facts on the way. Alright, so High Falls in the 1800s was a booming, prosperous industrial town. They had so many things. They had a grist mill, a powerhouse, a sawmill, blacksmith, a shoe factory, a cotton gin, numerous stores, and a hotel actually. But in the 1880s, the railroad decided in favor of Jackson to bypass High Falls, and essentially High Falls became a ghost town. The only things left over from that thriving period are ruins from the old grist mill and from the old powerhouse. Everything else from that time period just kind of got destroyed. But I'm actually standing where the old grist mill was, and there's a wall back here and some ruins behind me that were part of the grist mill, and I'm actually standing right beside the old grindstone that they used in the grist mill. So that's pretty cool. And we're gonna go check out the ruins from the old powerhouse next. So Old Alabama Road was one of the oldest roads ever constructed in central and western Georgia. It wasn't a paved road, it was just a little dirt road, and this bridge is the only thing left of that road, and it was the only crossing of Talladega River in this area. There was a toll person on either end of the bridge, and it was only a one-car bridge. But in 1994, there was a really big flood, and it washed out most of that bridge. And so this is the only thing left of Old Alabama Road, the oldest, or one of the oldest roads in Georgia.
It will be remembered as the flood of 1994, the worst natural disaster ever to strike the state of Georgia. It began as a tropical storm in the Gulf of Mexico. Alberto was its name, and in its wake, it left much of the southern part of this state underwater. The storm moved into Georgia early in July. It stalled over the state, dumping inch after relentless inch of rain. The Flint River and the Ocmulgee River, along with countless smaller streams, swelled over their banks and soon covered thousands of acres of woodlands and farm fields. The water swept through town after town, flooding houses, stores, and churches. Roads and bridges quickly became impassable. Communities lost water, power, and telephone service. In many places, people were completely cut off from food, from medicine, and from emergency supplies.
I don't really know how your men are going through what they're going through on this cemetery and this graveyard. That is just some unreal conditions. The things they're doing in there, I don't know how they're putting up with it.
Well, Chief, our people know and are reacting to it and realize that the very people that they're working with have friends and relatives that are buried in this cemetery.
There's no way to describe this. This is a 500-year disaster. Georgia has never seen anything like it. The cost of it is unbelievable. The cost in human suffering is unbelievable. The crop damage is unbelievable. The house damage is unbelievable. You think about a typical flood, you see somebody's house, you see a foot or two of water in the house. Here we're talking about water going over the top of two-story houses. Not just one or two houses, literally hundreds and hundreds of houses. It's just absolutely unbelievable.
So So if you look right over there, there's another view of the old grist mill, just ruins of it, and then the wall, you can see a walkway where they used to go in and out of this. Alright, so we are on the historic trail. It's half a mile, and the remnants of the old powerhouse are actually on this trail. So we're gonna go check it out. Alright, so we've reached the end of the historic trail, and we're pretty sure these are some remnants of the old powerhouse. We can actually see a structure down through the woods closer to the river that we think this connects to. It looks pretty clear that it connects to that. And if you cross the road, there's the beginning of the Tranquility Trail, which is about 2 miles. So if you look right down there, it looks like that's where the pipes or whatever connected to the powerhouse. And so we're gonna continue down this little trail and see if we can check out the powerhouse.
So yeah, you can definitely see them now that we're on this little bitty trail. All these things that used to hold, I guess, big old pipes.
I don't know.
Who knows what it is, but or what it was. But yeah, I can see the structure. We're coming up on it.
So we made it to the powerhouse. Actually really huge. But actually in the 1900s, Georgia Power owned this area, and we're doing the whole hydroelectric power dealio, but in 1960 they shut it down in this area, and they gave it to the Hiwassee Timber Company, who then donated it in 1966 to the Georgia Wildlife and Fish and Game Association, and they turned it into a state park. So in 1966, High Falls became a state park. So this area was originally inhabited by Creek Indians, and we just learned something new about the old Alabama Road. Apparently, it was originally a Native American route, so that's pretty interesting. Alright, so we are about to do this trail that runs beside the waterfall and the river. It's not too long of a trail, so we're gonna hike it. It's an out and back trail. Hike down there, come back, and then head on out of here. Fun to get out there and swim, and a lot of people do get down there and swim, but it's actually not allowed. It's prohibited because it can actually be pretty dangerous. It doesn't look dangerous right now, but when we get those heavy rains and stuff, it can get pretty dangerous. Not too long ago, some teenagers were walking out there and actually got stuck, and they had to get like flight rescued out of there, and they actually got tickets for it, so that's not good and not fun, so just don't do it. I know it looks awesome, but don't do it because you'll get in trouble. The park is, I know it's just a small park in the middle of Georgia, but it's got so much to offer. There's a 650-acre lake with apparently really good fishing. Private boats are permissible, or you could rent a canoe, a kayak, a paddleboard, a paddle boat from the park. They've got tent campsites, RV and trailer campsites. They've actually got a paddling pioneer campsite that you could check out, which sounds pretty cool. And they've got yurts, which are actually pretty cute, down by the lake. They've got playgrounds and 4.5 miles of hiking trails. a beautiful waterfall. They've just got so much to offer, and there's a lot to do in the area. There's actually about 5 minutes down the road, not even 5 minutes down the road, is a water park that's got 2 water slides, a kids play splash pad play area, and a pool. It's not much, but it's something fun to do on a hot summer day. There's also Indian Springs and the Whistle Stop Cafe down in Juliette, which is actually where Fried Green Tomatoes was filmed. So there's a ton to do in this area, and it's such a great park and a great historic area to check out if you're ever down here. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed it and hope you learned a little bit about High Falls State Park. Please like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.